This is my dad's Suburban. This is my grandpa's Suburban. This is my brother's Suburban. This is my grandma's Suburban. And this is my Suburban.
Today we are going to cut this body up, save a few things if they're salvageable, scrap most of it, keep the frame. It's a 3/4 ton Suburban frame.
It's a good frame.
And we are going to put a little bit better Suburban body that we picked up in a combo deal with another Suburban on here that's still restorable. And so first thing we gotta do is take this guy off, and then this is actually on some sort of homemade trailer frame or something right now. This Suburban's nowhere near perfect, but the body is better than the other one, and it's, I guess I would say, still restorable. Not sure what the title situation is on this, but it doesn't have much of the interior. We got all that. And we're going to put this on the other one once we get the other body torn off. The worst part of it is it does have roof rust here, and I think some spots right over here, and I guess over here all the way around, huh? But we have a lot of roof patches from other parts, trucks and stuff over the years. So, but other than that, it's actually decent. I mean, other than your typical little spots and doors and rockers, for the most part it's decent. So that'll be today. I also unfortunately robbed some suspension parts off of here over the years, so we're gonna have to replace those. I've got all that stuff, but you got to replace it. It's just gonna be hard because now it's all rusty from sitting out here. Put all that back together, we can steer it. Oh, you got a piece off.
One.
Now let's get the rest of it.
And we only bent the
Safety tip 1, don't do this at home.
safety tip 2. Eat that.
I think someone forgot something. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah. That'll help. There it is.
Now we drop it on the side.
Oh yeah.
All right, you're gonna do the honors, taking the final piece off.
Hopefully.
Let's hope. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. Baby.
Don't hurt yourself.
I hope not.
You got it?
Yep. Did that lift her up?
All right, kick it off of there so we can... You think you can get it on the pile? Oh, or on the ground. Okay, so we're back. It's 1 year later for the 800 and some odd viewers that saw the cutting up the 72 Suburban body. That was roughly a year ago. We're back 1 year later, and as you can see, nothing's happened. So we decided we need to change that. So here you can see the body from last year cut up on the pile there. So what we're going to do today is, the reason why we didn't do any more than cutting off the body last year was because I had robbed some suspension parts off here, taken off of here, the pitman arm, inner tie rod end, stuff like that. So what we're going to do today is I bought out of my parts bin of used parts. I've got, I mean, we're just trying to get it rolling. So I got a used inner outer tie rod end with the connector and everything else. I didn't have a pitman arm, so we bought a brand new one. So the thing I love doing is buying brand new parts just so they can sit on stuff like this and ruin, but that's what we had to do to get it rolling. So we're gonna put the suspension back on there, get it as a roller. Right now, we're gonna take the pitman arm I bought and the tie rods and put them on here, and then we'll put a steering column or something on there and test it, and then we'll see if we can get some tires. So that's what we're going to do to continue this. All right, so we'll just remove the, and we're gonna try to remove or reuse a bunch of this stuff if we can. So hopefully it comes off and is usable. This, I bought a guy's collection out 6-8 years ago, 6772 stuff. He had a ton of parts, and a lot of it was just used stuff like this, but a lot of that stuff that when you need it, sure is nice to just know you can go grab it instead of having to run back and forth to the parts store for it all. And he was back into these trucks back in the 90s, so a lot of his parts are pretty good shape because they've been in a shed for the last 25 plus years. So let's see if we can get this off. There we go.
The audio is loving this.
Yeah. All right, so now we got it off the right way. Put that to this side, and I'm going to take the old. We got the outer tie rod end and the middle connector left on here. The inner tie rod end is what I robbed, which I'm surprised I did that because the vehicle I was fixing up, I bought all new suspension, so I must have needed it just to roll it around because this was my parts Suburban when I first got it. Now this one's a little bit more rusted in place.
Well, it's also hitting the
oh, and I did not take the nut off. So if anyone's
did they make
I bought it October of 2008 with no body. I mean with just a body, no front end. And then the last year it's been sitting with no body at all. So alright, that makes a little easier when you take the nut off of there, believe it or not.
I know.
We loosened the tie rod over here. We moved the tires around and it was just too far. So we figured, okay, let's get the pitman arm straight, and then that way it's easier to get this under here, and then we'll put the ends on. But to do that, since we don't have a steering column, I was like, oh, I'll just tap in place. And it started moving at first, and then it just like froze up. And when you hit it, like if you come over here and look, it's like really rusty water, which obviously makes sense. It's been sitting in the rain for 15 years. So the newest drama is now power steering gearbox is froze up. See if we can find now a power steering gearbox to put on here that's not froze. So we put the pitman arm on there, drag link, tie rod ends, and all that on there. So this is obviously, as a lot of projects do, turning out to be a little more involved than we thought. Just to get, I thought we'd put 2-3 parts in there and get it done, but
no job ever goes as planned.
that's the way it always goes. So people watch this and do cars know. All right, so I looked through my parts bin. I have a whole shed of 67 to 72 stuff. We even call it the parts store. And for some reason, I had manual steering gearboxes. I had no power steering gearboxes. So what I'm going to do is take this off. I don't want the pitman arm out here ruining. So I'm going to take this off so we can replace it. Take the pitman arm off, which I can't do here. I got to put it in the press. But yeah, we'll have to replace this. Okay, so we're back. It's a couple days later, I guess a week or two later. Anyhow, I got the stuff that we were missing for the frame here. So we went over to Sean's. We've gone to his junkyard a couple times. Got a good power steering, well, a freed up power steering gearbox. It was coated in grease, so it's probably totally worn out. But for what we need to do, so we'll bolt that on there. It was out of a late 80s square body Suburban, but from my research, 67, 72 power steering gearboxes all the way up through the end of square bodies were pretty much the same gearbox. At least from the outside, they look identical. Their steering ratios might be different. Also, originally we had this on there and it was off of a half-ton truck, so it was wiggling around because the half-ton tie rod that went to the, I guess, drag link or whatever it's called, it was wiggling around because that's 3/4 ton, this half-ton. So, and it was spinning, so you couldn't get the nut tight. So I went and cut that back off. Bought a 3/4 ton inner tie rod, and we've got that. So now I'm going to put this on here, and then of course bolt that up, bolt this in, and then I bought a new pitman arm. Now one thing I want to kind of see here, I bought this brand new pitman arm. These are the same for C10s and 20s for 72 Chevy truck. What I'd like to know, is this the pitman arm that came off that square body? Let me see if they're the same, because I genuinely don't know. Sorry for the bad camera work here. I'm trying to get this out. Okay, so from what I can tell, they look identical. Yeah. So the pitman arms looks like 67, 72, and the square body do appear to be exactly the same. So had I known that, I could have saved a little bit of money. I don't know how much this was, but I could have saved a little bit of money. Now this one obviously is used and worn out, where this one's brand new. So I guess if we ever do get this truck running, that'll help. So what I'm gonna do, put this together, put that on, and then we'll get this thing as a roller. Okay, so I got everything kind of mocked up here. Got the pitman arm in, oops, sorry. Got the pitman arm in here. On here, it's not tightening down yet. I got to tighten it down, I think, before I get it quite lined up to get the bolts. Now, one thing I noticed, kind of turning it around to make sure the pitman arm was lined up properly, it was squirting a lot of fluid out of there. And that fluid, judging by how burnt it smelled and how brown it was, this power steering gearbox is probably on its last leg, or even pretty much toast as far as being a usable power steering gearbox. But for what we want to do, just move it around the yard, it should be good. There's some of the fluid there, you can see it's kind of burnt up. And then I paid about what you put for a core cost anyway, so I'm not really going to be out anything. It'll do what we need to do for now. And then I'll get the tie rod end, or the tie rods, lined up here in a second. I went ahead and did put the grease zerk on here and grease the pitman arm there, and the tie rod, greased it up, so they're greased up. One thing I was going to mention, so since I do know now that the 67 to 72 and the square bodies all use the same gearbox for the most part, I guess it would explain, since they're probably designed for a 67 to 72 style frame, I can explain why on the 67 72s they all use these kind of normal bolts. But on the square bodies, some of them have these weird like spacer things, and I guess because the frames are different. So since it was designed for a different frame than what they use it on for most of their lives, I guess that's why they had these little spacers on a couple of the bolts. Whenever you take them off the square body, you'll see two of them don't have these spacers, two do. I could be wrong, but it just that's the theory I'm going with for now. Okay, so everything's pretty much into place now. A couple things I did want to point out while they're still fresh in my head is this was a little bit of a bear with nothing here. I can only imagine when you get the inner fender, it's a whole truck. But one thing I did notice that made it a little bit easier was put the pitman arm, put it all bolt it down where it's all the way up on there, get the wheels as straight as you can, line the pitman arm up here, and then kind of put it in place and get a bolt in. And if the bolts, so I was able to get the back bolt, but if the upper one here, if it's too high or low, you turn the wheels, that'll kind of raise and lower it, and then you can kind of get them all started from there, depending on, you know, where the wheels need to turn to. Another thing that I did backwards and had to go back and redo is if you're putting both these on at the same time, put the inner tie rod in first and get it kind of in, and then this one, because if you do this one and that, it's a lot harder. I kind of lined them up, put that one in, and then kind of fooled with this one and got it in, and then slowly tighten them up. So we've got full front, Deegan's here. Hey, we got full front suspension again. So of course no steering wheel or anything yet, but so now everything's turning cohesively again, so that's good. So now, of course, the spindles are just totally rusted in place, so it shouldn't be hard to turn picked up. But anyhow, so now we got to get good tires. The suspension is back in place. Probably cost, I don't know, 60-80 bucks to buy all the stuff and everything, but we'll keep moving on and see if we can turn this into something again. Now, I almost forgot to mention, to keep my new used junk gearbox from seizing up like the last one, went ahead and put some bolts. This is a redneck way to do it. Put some bolts down in these tubes, clamp them down, keep as much rainwater out as possible. And then, since I'm probably not going to be able to work on it for another couple days, holidays coming up, we'll get like a hood or something. And until we get that body on there and put some sort of fenders and hood and kind of get all this stuff covered, we'll get like a hood or something, just lay it on here, keep everything from getting crazy. Okay, we are back, and it is another day, although this one's for us quite a bit chilly. There's like ice all over everything. It's actually, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's very lightly snowing right now. So anyhow, we're going to try to get the body today inside on the lift, and then get the frame that we've stripped down under it. I don't know if we'll get it all made up today, but we're going to get as far as we can. One thing we did notice, unfortunately, from the last time we were here, a tree has now fallen on the truck right here. It bashed in the windshield quite a bit compared to what it already was. It already had some bashes, but it is really crushed now. And now that I'm seeing it in person, it actually did kind of crush this part of the roof in here. So it's already an area we're gonna have to do a lot of work to. Now we're gonna probably have to do a little bit more. But
it was bubbling.
But with all this happening, obviously it's just, everything's telling us it's time to get this out of here and get this onto a frame into storage.
I'm sure nothing's gonna break over there. We're just gonna. Oh, that's good.
Clear on this side, I'm on that side.
You're good, you're good.
Good. Keep going.
Well,
Keep going.
it's coming.
Keep going.
Yeah. It is coming back, so. Oh! I don't know what happened there.
Okay, so it's here at a horrible angle, so now we gotta get a floor jack and level it out. Okay, so now we've got the body in place. The lift is up under it, but not lifting it yet. We put Freol on all the bolts to get them ready to be removed, and then Keegan is cleaning / sweeping out the inside, so we can remove that rubber mat to get to the bolts a little better without making a huge mess. So we're going to work on getting these bolts off of here, and then hopefully we get this frame out from under here, because it is just miserable having to work with this frame with the front end taken off of it. Just any way you got to move it at all, it's just, you got to use multiple floor jacks, tractor, whatever. So it's just, I'm ready for that to go. All right, so now it is officially another day, because when we got the Suburban body in here the other day, we started cleaning on it. We happened to go outside and notice it was like sleeting and icing everywhere, and we had to abruptly leave. So while it is chilly day, it's a lot prettier. We don't think we have to worry about any ice. So now we're going to continue. You've pretty much, this morning, you started cleaning up a little bit when I helped Sawyer with something, and we're going to start getting these bolts off of here and swapping the body. So so if you notice it's a different day, it's because we had to leave like ASAP, because it got really icy and the roads were really nasty by the time we got home. All right, now we have all the hardware that bolted the body of the frame disconnected. So we're going to try to raise the body up a little bit and see if we can get it separated from the frame. I'm not 100% confident in where I've got everything placed, so we'll raise up a little bit and check it. Let's check. There really aren't too many good places to put this in here, but hopefully it's balanced and it doesn't pull up on the under part here. Try to put it on braces the best I could. All right, raise it up a bit. Just okay, looks like everything hit about the same time. Keep going. Okay, hold on. All right, let's take it up. Okay, hold on. Let's stop right there. Make sure that there's nothing still connected.
Oh, that
There's a fuel line over there.
Okay, we'll disconnect that.
Well, I think it's gonna pop out.
Well, hold on, let's double check.
See, off over here, the fuel filler net.
Uh-huh.
I think we should put a bunch of octopucks in this little body with.
Okay, that will pop out.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing I'm not confident about is where placement of these boards are. So when we get it up, we're only gonna get up high enough to get the frame out, and we don't want to get under there for anything. I think we're set. Okay, raise it up a little bit more. A little bit more. Whoa.
Is there stuff still connected up front like this?
There's just like little wires and stuff we'll disconnect.
Over here. Yeah, all that crap. We got it.
Let's disconnect that.
Let's see what's holding it though.
There's a rat's nest in there. Or bird's nest or whatever.
Alrighty. Let's just do a walk all the way around.
Stuff.
Okay.
So this is the main thing that.
E-brake.
Yeah, see, it connects
Yep.
all that crap.
Okay. Yeah.
We
So
can either take it off or cut it. I'm not gonna hit it.
there it is. Out with the old. Got a golf cart behind you. You might want to get the tractor to get it from here on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what they were doing with this thing since they bobbed the front of the frame and then put some sort of, what is that, farm implement, some sort of farming suspension. I guess they're trying to make it some sort of trailer or storage shed. I have no clue. It's very strange what they did. But oh, we'll get the new frame on there. So we got the old frame back where the body and frame were sitting earlier. Got 4 tires to hold air on this one. Unfortunately, Keegan, last second, let me know. The brakes are seized up on it, which
The front ones are free.
oh, they are, but the back ones are seized.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's been sitting outside forever.
And those are drums.
Yeah, so I thought we would just roll it in there, but that's not gonna happen. So we'll get the tractor and see if we can get the tractor to hopefully push it and break them free, which I doubt. So we'll probably just have to use the tractor to push it in there.
There's one of the bolts left.
454 turn around, big slicks, cut out the rear wheel.
We gotta punch
Really cool, man.
Punch one through.
Shagging line, that's what you can call it. Right along the side, I can see it.
Give a punch and the hammer just punch all the way through. A little more. A little more. Stop. Okay, lower it just a little bit. Oh wait, hold on, two things.
Pull this one thick.
Okay, lower it a little bit. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Whoop, stop. Or you do the camera. You do the camera. Okay, we'll come together.
Is that perfect? It's about right.
All right, lower it a little bit. Lower it. A little more. A little more. Whoa, stop. Okay. Looks lined up. Can't promise we're gonna have to wiggle it around to get all the bolts. Lower just a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Oh. Okay, let me check the front ones and then lower it a little bit. A little bit more. Oh, okay.
Usually we get the 4 corners.
All right, let's lower it. Keep going. Lower it all the way. All right.
Body's on the frame.
Okay, so we've got the 4 guide bolts in, the 2 front, 2 back. The rest should fit for the most part. So the body is resting on the frame in place with the guide bolts. So now what we're going to do is have to get the actual bolts that we're going to bolt it together with and get a steering column and everything in there, and then we'll have a roller. So we just got done finishing putting all the bolts in, the new ones that we bought for the body to frame, and we unfortunately had to reuse the old rubber pieces and the flat metal parts because we just don't have any new ones. But between the old frame and the new frame, we were able to get enough good ones that they weren't all dried out. There's 2 of them we're gonna have to get later because we didn't get long enough bolts for those, but 8 of the 10 bolts are in. We went down to the shed, got a steering column to put in here. I'm not sure if it's the one we'll use forever or not. Keegan wants to make this Suburban look like a 68, so I believe it's a 67/8 column here. Unfortunately, we built the shop at our house and started taking parts home, and unfortunately the parts come with the little metal strap that goes under here to hold the steering column in place. The screws that go into the firewall that holds this metal brace right here in place, and the hardware, like the fine thread screws that bolt this in the power steering gearbox. So we're going to see if we can scrounge up some other parts. There's still some steering parts down there, just not the bins of them where they're already sorted out, you know, everything is. But we're trying to make it roll. We're getting kicked out of here. My dad said he needs the lift, so we got to get this out of here today. So we're going to try to get that strapped in there just enough to roll it out, and then we'll come back with permanent parts. So the very observant Keegan noticed that when we were finding steering columns to put in here, this red one, someone had just ripped the rag joint apart and left the hardware in there, and it had the bolts and washers we needed. So we do have the proper bolts and washers in here. Let's see if we can maybe find some screws here. The metal piece, I know I've got all this stuff somewhere, but it's like, where do you find it at? You'd spend the rest of the day till we're dark to find it. So we're gonna put this together best we can. We'll get a bench seat in there. See if you can go up to the passenger door. Oh, there's a lizard in here.
Where?
Right there. Right behind you now.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. There we go. Get out.
Oh well. Okay.
Let me move the seatbelt before we...
That's my issue.
Ooh, yeah.
It's gonna go forward a little bit.
This
Yeah.
good God.
It's hung up on something.
Right, his seatbelt. Couldn't move it. Wait, remove the seat. Or unbuckle it. Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
The one seatbelt is in here that you latch together.
Well, I latched it together so it couldn't catch in the door.
Alright, let's push it.
Oh, God. You're crushing me.
Okay, you might need to get out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Run out of room. Oh.
Jeez, Jesus.
Alright, while Keegan wraps up bolting the bench seat we found out in the shed into the Suburban, I'll give you a little information on what this is. So, unfortunately, when we got it, it was just came with a 70 GMC Suburban that we bought. So the glove box was gone, no spit in there. But from what we could tell just by looking at it and from the VIN, the body was originally a 1970 Chevy half-ton Suburban. It was made in Fremont, California. It was the medium poly blue. It was a factory V8. And I don't know how long it was in the West Coast, probably for a while, or at least somewhere out west, because it's fairly rust-free other than the rust it is in the roof, but that's also been sitting here for a few years. And it did have on the old bumper that it was sold somewhere in San Antonio. So it hasn't been in this part of Texas for very long. And what else did we find out? It was probably wasn't a deluxe because it didn't have the trim holes here.
Well, yeah.
We think it didn't have dash AC, but it has these brackets which we think are for the rear AC. I know it's kind of uncommon to get one or the other, but I have seen them where they have just the front or just the rear. So I think it might have just had rear AC only. And other than that, it's kind of hard to tell, you know, what really came with other than the color was. So even though it was a 70, we're putting on a 72 frame, you want to make it look like a 67 Chevy truck. So that's why we got the 67. But I guess for now, you want to keep it kind of blue. Underneath all this black primer is the medium poly blue paint. So we found a blue steering column, the bluish.
Well, I was getting all the blue stuff for the blue interior.
Yeah, and it had blue seat belts, so we're just going to make it blue for now at least. I think body-wise everything's original, but this door has green paint underneath it. Nothing.
That door.
Oh, and this one right here?
Yeah.
Okay, but everything else is the medium poly blue paint. We do know it would have been an automatic because there's nothing in there for the clutch, for manual, and it obviously was two-wheel drive or small block because it has a low hump floor. So there's certain things we can tell that it was built as, but we'll never know all of the options and everything. But that's all right. Keegan's not too worried about that. He's going to build it back the way he wants it anyways. And this should be a fun little project to build out of just random parts we had lying around.
I'd say a fun big project.
Yeah, that's true. Small. It's going to be a big project. But it's cool. We're literally going to take a pile of junk and hopefully turn it into something. Not to say we won't have our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of 67 to 72 parts, including Suburban parts. We do have some roof panels off of parts Suburbans we might be able to use up here.
There's our parts Suburban for this one.
Yeah, I don't think Grandma's going to like that. Hopefully we'll get it going before Keegan turns 16. We'll see what happens. Got her back wheel locked. She's like, no, you can't get me out of the shop. I just got in here. What do you think? Now you got at least a roller.
That was rolling.
Yeah, just this one over here.
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
I can see myself.
I mean, even though it's still just a junk roller, it's come a long way from when it started as...
I like how I say it's really
parts.
coming together, and all we do is put seats in a new frame.
Yeah, and we did put this back seat, or the middle row seat in, just to play around waiting on Grandpa for the football game to get to halftime. Oh, the wheel's shaking a little bit. Maybe it's going to try to free up. Nope, it's not.
Door handles in here.
Yeah, I know. All right, so unfortunately this is where she's gonna have to sit for a little while until we can get her a little bit easier roll, and we'll get her in the shop. But we'll get a hood that we had over there or something back over this to keep the few new nice parts on here from rotting. And I'll let you do the final words on this video, and then we'll start up everything else on the second one.
Well, I just need to get all those white rims on there. It looked good with the white rim.
Yeah,
right?
as long as all the rims are the same type, we'll sandblast them and powder coat them white.
Yeah, also I found that lizard. Look.
Oh yeah, we had a lizard in there trying to get out. Couldn't get him out.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, just let him stay in there for now. It's gonna be cold the next couple days.
There he is.
All right, so let's get a trash bag on that window that doesn't have glass, and let's get the hood or whatever up here to keep those. And that's gonna be it for part one. Hopefully we'll make a whole lot more progress part two.
And a whole lot of money.